Okay, I've determined what is the best way to create a video in such a way that you can prove that was never edited. One way is to do it in VR 180. The other way is to put something in front of the frame that if there was any edits involved, you would be able to compare the videos. So and the thing is with VR 180. You've got two lenses and each one is a fisheye, and so there's deformation occurring on the you have to deal with that. This is the reason why Hollywood will never touch a VR 180 with a 10-foot pole, or is because you can't fake anything. You can't use stunt doubles. It's impossible. And so this is what we're going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that your computer, the passwords on your machine are pointless. They, at best, they just keep your children from getting access to your stuff. But if any of your children happen to be Linux users, you're screwed, because he has access to everything that's on your machine. The only way you can keep him from getting access to your machine is to not use a PC, use an iPad, because they're harder to hack. You have to jailbreak them, and that's a longer process, and they have to have access to it. And if it's in your hip pocket, then they're not getting access to it. So that if you don't want your children accessing your stuff, do it on an iPad. Don't use a PC. Don't use Windows. Don't even use a Macintosh, because of this, what I'm going to show you. And it's really simple. Okay, this machine has Windows XP on it, and the reason why I'm not showing my face isn't because I'm trying to be secretive or anything. It's because, well, to some extent, yes, but I've got several different YouTube channels, and I don't want their information to be related, and also I don't want a viewership. I'm not really into this whole thing with YouTube of trying to make money off of your channel. All I'm out for is to provide information, wise some people up, and then they'll know what they need to be doing with their stuff, and rather than what they shouldn't be doing. So let's turn this machine on. Okay, and I'm doing it dark because there would be glare on the screen, because there's lights. I tried recording before and there was a glare on the screen, and that prevented it from actually permitting me to show what's on the screen. And so you can see I've been doing a lot of stuff with Windows, because now it's starting to complain, noting that I've turned off the machine without shutting down Windows. So I'll start Windows normally. Come on. And so it's going to boot up in XP, but I'll just prove that I don't have access to, because, well, I don't. This isn't my machine. Not to say there's anything illegal. I just use this machine from time to time. This is somebody else's machine. This is somebody in my family, but it isn't somebody that's really concerned that much with me using their machine in this way. And so wait for the XP to come up, and so they got a password on this, and I don't know why. I never do this to my machines. I don't usually require that you have a password, because I know that if you really wanted the information, it's pretty easy to get access to. So I just hit enter. That doesn't work, and then we try blah, and that doesn't work. We can't get into it. On my best days, I'd probably be able to figure out what it was, but I'm not it's not even gonna come to me. So what do? And notice that this video down here hasn't changed any. You will still be able to see this guy no matter what. And if this was a faked video, I would have to be doing so much. A trained expert would know that it would be very difficult for me to fake this, or even for them to fake it, And there are going to be script kiddies and guys out there that are going to be like, oh yeah, I can fake that, no problem, And there probably is a way to fake it, but I've also got a lot of experience in video and all sorts of junk. that I will not even disclose. So I hit the delete key here. That puts me into the UFE BIOS mode. Oh, I forgot. This, you can't really see what's going on the screen. Hopefully you can see something up there, but maybe if I took this this iPad thing down here and I brought it up higher, so because we're going to be working up here mostly, so I'll just stick that guy right here, and you don't really need to see that part of the monitor anyhow. So those guys are working there, and so I bring this guy up closer, and let's go up here, and then I have to go to boot menu, but first I have to take this guy right here and hook him up to the PC. So the PC is down here, and take my flashlight and put that in down here, in there, and then it might take it a little while for it to figure out that there's something hooked up. Maybe it won't. So I'll hit F8 and it doesn't see it. So maybe I'll just say escape, discard changes, exit, and then I'll do a Control Alt Delete. So it will go to the main, so it'll go back, because once before it didn't go to Windows. I mean, it went to Windows directly after, and I didn't want it to do that. So these VR, one problem with these VR180 cameras is they don't have a whole lot of resolution, even though they'll say it's 4K. Yeah, but in the area where you're going to be looking in your VR headset, it's not going to be 4K. It's going to be somewhere closer to 800 by 600, because that's what you get pretty much. But you get it all over the place, so you can move your head anywhere, which makes it much more interesting. So you might be watching this the whole time and not even watching what my video is saying. So okay, so what it's doing now is it's booting into Linux, and Linux is like Windows, only not Windows. It's an operating system. When you get a computer, the operating system usually comes with the computer, and it's called Windows. But you don't have to have Windows. In fact, you have a choice. The thing is that being consumers, we are usually given products that have stuff already on them. And so when we go up to eBay to buy a PC, we buy it with Windows, thinking that we're just getting Windows, but we might be getting something else. We might be getting some malicious code. We might be getting a backdoor, a rootkit, something that permits people to get into. When you start doing stuff online, they're collecting information about you, and this is how they do their, this is the method by which a lot of people do identity theft. I have never done identity theft. I've been thefted before by other people, and I know how they did it. But this is my part of my mind, using what I know about the world, that this is how you could steal somebody's identity, is by putting some malicious software onto a computer and selling it on eBay. So it is in your best interest as a consumer, if you're going up to eBay to get a PC, don't get it with Windows on it. Get it such that maybe that the BIOS is like the only thing that, and you know, if you want to be really careful, and if you're going to get it for a government friend, he's probably not going to let you give him that. He's probably going to install his own operating system, because to do his government work, he's going to have to guarantee that nobody can see what he's doing, and he'd probably have to take it to the government, or he'd probably have to get it from them. He can't get it from you. So this is probably one of the reasons. So anyhow, I booted up in it. So you want to see me get access to it? Okay, SU. Okay, I'm going to do sudo. Let me change the resolution here. This is going to end up being in 2 videos, by the way. But I'll still have my friend, the Acrobots from iPad, helping me out here. And they're just going to keep, the only purpose for that is to prevent you from realizing if there was any edits being involved, and there's no edits involved. So I'm keeping this configuration because it's fairly high resolution. I hit apply, I keep this configuration, close. So the reason why I did that, I changed the resolution so you could see what I'm typing. So I say sudo, and some people say sudo. It's sudo. It's super user do. It's super user do. Okay, it's not sudo. It's su, su, super user. And most guys don't know that because most guys are not my age and have been using the Commodore 64 since he was 13. So I've been using computers a lot longer than most of you guys have. And so root. And the reason why it's called root is because that's what the root of the tree is in Linux. It's the top of you're the top of the tree. You're at the bottom of the tree. You're the root. You're where it began. So that's the root user. It's the first user. Okay. And so I'm just going to give him a really basic password because Richard Stallman doesn't believe in passwords. So why should I? So, and Richard Stallman is the only reason why we even have Linux or any of this free software that we have, or even the ability to have the perspective that we have the ability to change our operating system or to even have a different operating system in Windows. By the way, just a side thing, in the universities, they could not teach operating systems to kids before the 80s or before the 90s. It was not possible to teach operating systems courses, or even there was no reason to